the gutting thing for Sunderland Albion is if they had beaten Forest in the third round, they would have played Sunderland.
Wow, that would want to be one of the classic early North-East encounters, wouldn't it?
It would have been. Now, Sunderland beat Forest and gained some sort of revenge for Wayside with a 4-0 win at Newcastle Road, which was Sunderland's home then. And that set up a semi-final. So Sunderland got to the first ever semi-final of the FA Cup, held Notts County with a 3-3 draw, but then were beaten 2-0 in the replay.
Right. Now, would this be a good time to get on to Sunderland, or shall we perhaps do a little bit more of the of tying up the loose ends with the Northern League clubs? Because obviously, what you then have is Newcastle, East End, and West End taking part in that particular season, 1890-91, which was the Northern League, and the Newcastle themselves finished 6th the year Middlesbrough Ionopolis won it, and they did obviously get to the FA Cup sort of round 4. You probably call it qualifying rounds. Newcastle themselves, though, had there was a lot of growing pains. It did say they did have a 6-0 victory over Darlington East End, which is another club, obviously, in the league that season. But they had a disappointing season and they finished in the bottom reaches at that particular time. Just as a little bit of background, the trainer stroke coach was Tom Dodds and William Bales. Have you anything on them at all?
Well, I think they stuck with the club when it sort of moved into being Newcastle United as well. They stuck around as well. But when you look at big signings that were made, Jock Sawley came in. He was someone who stuck around and became a key part of that early part of Newcastle United as it moved on to.
Yes.
But it was a slow start, I think it's safe to say. East End at this point were still playing, I think, at Chillingham Road, which is not far away.
That's right. It says that the FA Cup qualifying game where Sunderland Albion came was actually at Chillingham Road, which isn't far from where we are now.
But they did take the time to get established in the early years or late years of Newcastle East End, early years of Newcastle United. The attendances weren't quite happening the way that the board of directors and the committee wanted them to go. It was a real struggle. They were, kind of living hand to mouth almost.
It appears to me that West End was struggling financially. I don't know why that was, but East End were, I wouldn't say thriving, but were certainly having a better time of it, really.
I think East End, it's probably safe this. It's probably obvious to say were the better run of the two clubs. West End, of course, at this point were at St James's Park. They had the tenancy on St James's Park. They played all of their games there, but maybe just financially weren't able to sustain playing there.
Yeah, and I have a feeling as well. I mean, maybe I'm speaking out of turn here because I haven't got the facts and figures in front of me. But the West End of Newcastle seemed to be a collection of villages, and in the fact that Denton and Elsick were actually villages themselves. It wasn't suburbia, I feel like. Whereas the East End of Newcastle, obviously, the shipyards down this end, is probably more populous and probably a better bet, really, to have a successful football club.
Which is interesting bringing it up to date, because when we look at the clubs that we have in non-league terms now, there are very few at a Northern League level or above in the West End of Newcastle.